Merry Christmas, everybody. It's me, Billy from Red Wolf Pack 1. I was here to, primarily to give a review about my rods and reels, but I was going to show you some of the cool Christmas gifts I got, or something fishing related. For example, this Gerber Bear Grylls knife. Bill Gates. BG, Bear Grylls, it's orange, it's his colors. But yeah, I'm not sure if you know, but Gerber makes a good knife. And it's Bear Grylls. So it's a good, nice knife. It's a little big. It's bigger than the palm of my hand, but you know, I like it. It's nice. The handle's kind of chunky, but doesn't matter. I think it'll be a good fishing knife. Comes with a little carrying case. And the other cool gift I wanted to talk about was these reusable hand warmers my uncle got me. And what it is that you can reuse them. All you have to do is boil them. But this is what they look at the end. But what you do is you snap that, and it has forms a reaction. And as it does that, it gets hot. That's pretty cool. As you can see, they're both used. Right now it's hot. I'm not sure if you can feel it or not. But yeah, it's hot. Feels good. Keep my hands warm. Be good for fishing. I'm going skiing in the future. So yeah, that'll be good. Fun. And what you do to get really hard after you make that reaction. So what you do is you put them in a boiling pot of water, and they melt back down, and you cool them off, and so that's cool. Nice and warm. There. Another cool part about the Bear Grylls knife is that it came with a survival guide. It's got how to make food, snares and traps, knots, scavenging, shelter, how to make a fire. So that's cool. I'll keep that in my case while I'm carrying it around. You know, just in case, or if I ever want to try it out. But now, to the point of the video. I've got 3 Skeet Reece rods and 1 Johnny Morris. Probably my 4 nicest combos. And I'll start with my jigging rod. This is a 8-foot long Skeet Reece jigging rod on a Shimano Castaic. And it's really nice because the Castaic has this little button you push up. So when you flip, just flip and push it up. Or you put it down and push it up. So it's pretty much made for flipping. And it's a lot of pros use it for flipping. A lot of high up there people. A lot of guys I know at fish tournaments really like it. And I've been testing it out today, flipping around the house, flipping outside, and I really like it. Put on a little Bass Pro Shops little creature bait on like 3/8 ounce. But yeah, it's nice. I'd recommend it for flipping. It's really cool because you just push it up while you flip. So yeah, I like that. And I like it more than the cheap rods, or sometimes they're cheap, that have the flipping on and off switch, because this is, you can choose when you want to flip or not. So yeah, I like that. I like that for flipping. And the 8-foot Skeet Reece rod is really good. I'd recommend it. Really sturdy, durable. 8 feet kind of gets in the way. I'd recommend like 7.6, 7.8, but it's a nice rod. Nice rod. Worth the money, definitely. Next is my crankbait rod by Skeet Reece. It's a Magnum crankbait. This one is 7.6, I believe. 7.10 actually. But I like it. I put my Shimano Corrado on there because it's a 6.4 one. Crankbaits, you generally want a lower gear ratio. 6.4 one's kind of right in the middle, so I mean that'll cut it. I wouldn't necessarily call it a cranking reel. But yeah, I got 30-pound test on there. The Corrado's a really good reel, and I think it'll do really well on this rod. With it being 7'10", you can cast it out there because crankbaits are normally heavier. So you put on a heavier crankbait, I could probably cast off half my full spool. It's pretty good, pretty incredible. And the tip, let me see. Tip's got some good action. Nice for the crankbait. It gives when the crankbait gives. Be good for the crankbait action. So yeah, I really like this rod, and it's really nice and thick. Not going to be breaking it anytime soon. So yep, I like this one a lot. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And the Corrado, well, I got it on sale for cheaper than it normally is, but for my sale price, I'd give it probably a 9 or a 10 out of a 10. And full price, probably 8.5 or 9 out of 10 for the price. But if you get it on sale, it's definitely a 9 or 10 out of 10 reel. Next is the Toad slash Senko rod by Skeet Reece, and the Shimano Corrado 200 DHSV. This is a little different than my other Corrado. First off, that's the newer model Corrado. This is the older one. It's made out of more metal on the inside than that one. So a lot of people like the older stuff more, the throwback, because they think it's better made and not as cheap as the newer stuff. I guess Shimano's trying to save money. But I like this reel. I like how it's a little bigger than the other Corrados. And this one's got a 7:1 ratio, so you can, well, it's on this topwater rod, so this is my topwater setup. You can really burn it in there for their schooling. Schooling, you can burn a topwater frog in, or a popper, or whatever you're throwing. Because it's good if you're schooling. If you make a cast off the school, burn it in, cast back on there. And if you hook up with the fish, you can rip them in and cast back out there. You want to stay on that school at all costs. And it's good if you're burning a buzzbait. I mean, some people like to reel them real fast, so honestly, it's a personal decision. This is a 7-foot 2-inch rod. I think that's probably the ideal size for a rod. It's not too big, it's not too small. Big enough to get the bait out there, but not small enough to not get the bait out there. I don't know. I like about 7.2. I think that's a good size. If you don't need to go any bigger. I like to do some kayak fishing, so I do think it's a bigger size. I do think it's a good size for kayak fishing. You're not hooking trees, hooking the other rods in the boat, or hooking the guy kayaking next to you. So I like that. And this reel, I really like it. It is a really free spooling reel, but I mean, by that I mean it likes the backlash, but unless you tune it right, I mean, which I haven't had any problems with. I've just heard this from other people. I really like this reel. I'd give it a really nice rating. The rod, I've never used this one, but I had a 6'8" jerkbait topwater rod, which is pretty similar to the Senko and Toad rod. So I really like the rod. I think it gets the job done. And there's a secret about these topwater fishing rods. If you have a topwater rod specifically for topwater, and you're fishing topwater, you don't have to wait to set the hook. When you get that topwater explosion, you set the hook almost immediately, maybe wait a second. But if you're using a rod, like let's say if I were using my flipping rod that's really sturdy, doesn't give when I set the hook, I'd probably have to wait 2, 3, or 4 seconds to set the hook. Because I'm not sure if you ever frog fish, but when you buy the package on the bag, some of them say wait 2 to 3 seconds to set the hook. And that's not always the case. For example, if I'm using my Toad rod, I probably will wait a second or two, or set the hook immediately. I normally don't lose fish like that. You can always be safe, but if you wait too long, who knows, they may spit it out, may come out of their mouth. So you never know. And if you're using a treble hooked topwater bait, like a popper, Zara spook, I normally wouldn't wait almost at all to set the hook on that, because you got the trebles, so it's much easier to hook the fish. And that is that. Those are my 3 Skeet Reece rods. That's my Skeet Reece review. I really like them. They're probably all 80 to 100 bucks. I'm not sure how much. I got most of them on sale, if not all. So yeah, I like those. Give them all 9 out of 10 for the price. I'm not sure what you normally fish with, but for the price, I'd say 9 out of 10. At least on all of them, if not higher. Next is my Kevin Van Dam PT on a Johnny Morris signature rod. The rod itself is, well, for me, it's pretty expensive, in the hundreds, but I got on a bit of sale the Black Friday on Bass Pro Shops. And the KV PT is a nice rod, reel. It's got a reasonable price, but the price I paid for, it was like half off, like $150. That's really good. So if you can ever wait and find this one on sale, I'm not sure if Bass Pro will do it again, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. If you're paying the full price though, I'd say 8.5, 8. But still, that's pretty good. 8, 9 out of 10. Yeah, right now, I think I'll be primarily using this for jerk baits as topwater. It just says power, medium, heavy, and action, extra fast. So I think a jerk bait, I mean, it doesn't have to be extra fast, but I'll probably be using it for jerk bait. It's got nice tip action. It'll give when you want it to and be sturdy when you want. So I think I'll be using it for mainly jerk baits, swim baits. Oh, and Texas rig. I think it's got enough sensitivity to be my Texas rig rod. So that's that. I really like the rod. I haven't gotten to use it that much, but I think it's got a floating handle. medium heavy, 6'9". 6'9", like I said, it's kind of similar to 7'2". Maybe you could probably put a couple more inches on there, but around 7 feet is the ideal size for kayak fishing. So I really like this one. It's also big enough to throw out a bass boat. But yeah, I like it. I don't think I'll be throwing an Alabama rig on it, but I don't think it's that sturdy. But I think it'd be really good jerkbait jerkbait or Texas rig combo. On the line, I put fluoro 17-pound test, which is I'm not sure if I like fluoro or not, but I'll have to give it some more time to see. The reel, I really like the reel. It casts smooth. The reel's smooth. Overall, it's a pretty good combo. Probably one of my better combos. But yeah, I like it. I really like all 3 of these, all 4 of these combos. And this one's a nice touch to set off the kit. So I got my top water, my crankbait, or jigging, this one's the jigging 8-foot rod, crankbait, and Texas rig swim bait jerkbait rod. I think that's